Hey guys, welcome to another episode of YannaAsks. And today's episode is, I would say, kind of different because this is the first time that I've invited a friend to join me in the podcast. So, medyo pinipig ko siya maging free-flowing and less formal compared to the previous ones that I did. Hence, I'm using Taglish now. And also, yung topic natin later, I think it's still somehow serious. Pero yun nga, we'll try to make it as free-flowing as possible. Of course, with the intent pa din na you will pick up something valuable right after hearing our conversation. And so let me introduce to you our guest for today. So he is an IT professional, and actually we both are. So we used to be office mates. That's where we met and we became friends. And then he's also a baker. So he has this online business called Opagkain. Pero running pa ba yun?
Hindi pa. Hindi na.
Pero guys, swear, as in yung best choco chip cookies ever na na-taste ko. Sa kanya yun. And I did a mukbang episode for that. So you might want to check that out as well. #YannaChoose. And then, on top of that, he is, an internet sensation. Influencer, freelance model yan. So, malaki na yung base niya sa TikTok, sa Kumu, Instagram. Meron ka naman Laika?
Wala akong Laika.
Bakit?
Bakit? Well, it's something na hindi ko pa nako-consider, yung Laika.
Pero side topic, ano ba siya? Parang Kumu din, gano'n.
No, actually, Laika is just a platform where you can post a picture or a video. I'm not entirely sure. Tapos, anyone can give you gems by liking it. Tapos, yung gems na yun are good as cash. Kasi you can use those gems to...
Di ba ganun din naman in Kumu?
Yes. Pero in Kumu kasi, parang it's automatically money. Pero yung sa Laika, parang, if I'm not mistaken, guys, you can really, tawag ito, kunyari, I post a picture. Tapos, 5 gems yung likes ko. So, parang 5 pesos siya na you can use sa mga restaurants.
Dami ko kasi nakita in social media. So, I thought, meron ka rin like But anyway, mamaya, later, lalapag natin lahat ng social media accounts niya. So, kala mo namin followers. So, you guys can follow him as well. Ayan. So, without further ado, let's welcome to YannaAsks, my good friend, Landamme. Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi ka naman sa mga,
thanks for having me. Ayan, hi, fandom. Sabihin ko sila para panoorin to. Kala mo dami.
Oo, tayo? Available na tayo ngayon in Spotify and YouTube. Yes.
YouTube, okay.
Yan. So, let's start with quick kamustahan. So, kamusta ka, Landamme? Especially, I think yung highlight kasi of late last year was yung PBB. Kasi sa mga hindi po nakaalam to, Landamme was like a contender housemate in the recently concluded PBB Connect. So parang na-reach niya yung top 9. So how was the experience ganyan, and parang how was life after it?
Alam mo na kapasok, hindi. It was a really fulfilling experience for me kasi it all started back in October 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Tapos, ayun, I just said na baka, sige, gawa lang ako ng video ulit. Tapos, who knows, baka I get in this time. Tapos, hanggang sa top 9, hanggang sa top 110, top 110, tapos biglang top 99, naging top 50, top 40, ayun, naging top 9. Tapos, sumabot ako dun sa hotel arrest. Tapos, actually, parang final step na yun, natalo lang ako sa Jeps kasi masyado na marami yung iba. Parang ako naman, wait lang, okay naman masyado. I mean, it was already a blessing for me na umabot ako even na top 9. Tapos, it was a really good experience for me kasi, at first, parang akala ko, hindi nga ako abot ng top 50, hanggang sa dire-diretso. And it was a really overwhelming experience rin kasi, alam mo yan, yung mga people na akala ko, mga hindi ko na makakausap, biglang babalik, tapos sinusuporta pa ako. Wala lang, nakakataba ng puso. Ayan.
Tapos if I'm not mistaken, the proceeds were given to like a charity.
Yes, it was all given to to my blockmate sa sa Isabela kasi 'di ba merong Ulysses yung time na yun. Tapos I used the proceeds to help out.
Yeah. Great. Saka I think yung maganda doon is yung aftermath, parang yung doors and opportunities that opened up after, 'di ba? Finally, I'm gonna
Kasi,
play eh.
yeah, so sana magtuloy-tuloy. Pero, yun nga, hindi pa ako nagkisettle sa mga nangyayari ngayon. Parang I always strive for more. Kaya, ayun, kuha lang ng kuha ng racket hanggang sa
True.
ma-discover pala talaga pa. Kasi wala pa to eh. Parang simula pa lang to. Ayun.
Anyway, enjoy lang the journey. So, yup, great to
Thank
hear.
you.
Now, let's get on to our topic for today. And siguro to give a brief context lang, my trigger for coming up with this episode is, actually, I've told Landamme na since late last year, I've always wanted to create a content for this topic. However, I feel like I didn't have enough drive to do so until recently, like very recently, like ano lang, a week ago, siguro something so unfortunate and devastating happened to me, very much related to the topic. Tapos, I mourned so much about it. Pero I thought, instead of parang grieving, why don't I just channel all my hugots into creating a content that can probably help other people who are also going through the same. Hence, we have the topic for today, what if things don't go as planned? And I think very relatable siya, di ba? Parang sa lahat naman sa atin nangyayari siya. And I think for you then, Landam, of course, you've had a couple of plans siguro in your life that didn't materialize, didn't go well. Pero if you can highlight just one and then briefly share to us what happened, how did you handle, parang how were you able to cope up after?
Sige. I'm going to relate it to my previous PBB experience, no? Kasi nung time na yon, it was kind of a bitter. It was kind of a bittersweet moment for me. Hindi bitter, guys, bittersweet yun. Sorry, my mistake. So anyway, it was a bittersweet moment for me kasi sweet kasi at that time, I never knew and I didn't expect I would make it to top 9, di ba? Tapos ako, parang, alam mo yun, parang di ko nga in-expect sa sarili ko. Tapos it's something na sobrang it was such a surprise for me. That's why it's a very sweet moment. But then it's kind of a bitter moment kasi alam mo, all my life I really wanted to join PBB and akala ko ito na yun eh. Kasi after 5 times of crying, 5 times of almost reaching it, parang 5 almosts. Tapos hanggang ngayon wala pa rin. So for me, parang ano ba, sign na ba to para titigil ko na o sign pa to para mas magpursige pa ako? Parang until now, I still can't find that fine line between the two. But then it's just a matter of perspective, you know? I mean, if it's still aligned with my goals in the future, then why not? If it's different na, edi time to move on to the next one, di ba?
So parang ngayon, you can say na, kunyari may next PBB opportunity ulit. Are you gonna go for it? Or
of course.
Yes pa din.
Yes, as in without a doubt, I would still go for it kasi ever since high school talaga ito na yung gusto ko eh. Like, I've wanted to join PBB for the simple reason na I really want to prove myself na I can do anything. Kasi yung high school ako, yung reason ko pa lang nun is, yung dating reason ko dati is gusto ko maging sikat. Siyempre, lahat naman. Gusto ko maging sikat, gusto ko maging artista, ganyan. Tapos PBB is like the easiest way to do it. Pero as time went by, as auditions went by, nag-iiba lahat ng mga gusto ko. So yung second na gusto ko mag-provide for myself. Ayoko na mag-college, ganyan. Yun yung gusto ko dati. Hanggang sa ngayon, gusto ko mag-inspire ng other people I want to be the epitome na if you really want something and you really set yourself to achieving that one, you'll really get it. Kasi wala naman ako mga backer nun eh. Like, wala akong mga manager, ganyan. Wala akong manager, tapos everything was really from me. So yun, gusto ko maliwala yung mga tao na those things are possible.
Now, I think it would be helpful kasi to the listeners. So you're going back to that moment na you made it to the top 9, tapos yung next cut, hindi na. Parang, ano yung initial feeling, tapos paano mo siya hinandle?
Actually, nung top 9, tapos sinabi na hotel arrest, parang sabi ko, hala, ito na yun. Kasi aalis na ako ng bahay ko, tapos next step, swab test na ako, tapos 14 days quarantine na. Tapos, I was literally ready to go inside the house. Tapos biglang nung final night, yung naglalaban na kaming 3. Kasi diba, split in between 3 groups of 3 yun. So kalaban ko 2 na lang. So inisipin mo, 2 na lang kalaban ko para makapasok. Out of 100, 2 na lang. Tapos nung time na, alala ko yun parang before 12 noon, kailangan mo makikita mo dapat yung results. Tapos nung malayo na talaga yung arangkada ng 2, Ako, parang, syempre, masakit siya for me, pero at the same time, nandun na ako eh. Parang, out of the 100, konti lang makakuha ng ganong
Yeah.
experience. So, panalo na talaga ako. Kasi ako na rin naman, alam ko rin naman deep inside me na medyo mahirap nga. Pero
Mm.
I got it that far and it's just a matter of really accepting na lang. And taking what I was given. Parang, yun na yung binigay sa akin eh. I'm just going to accept it na lang. Ganyan. Kaya medyo hindi naging mahirap na lang yung
Mm.
acceptance kasi nung gabi pa lang nung natalo ako dun sa task, parang sabi ko na, ay nako, mukhang malabo to.
Mm.
Ayun. So
Agree
it's just a
ako
matter
with
of
the
really
ano.
accepting na lang.
Super agree with the acceptance. Well, easier said than done, pero what other option do you have, di ba, than to
Yeah.
accept? Kasi
Wala
may
na
mga
eh.
things
Yun na yun
talaga na
eh.
di mo control din. And if you've given your best naman din, wala eh.
Yes.
So you just have to accept and move forward. Then siguro to add to that, parang how do you handle when things don't go as planned? Siguro for me, what works is magkaroon ng, I do a pre-work, which is, I call it pre-work kasi it's what I do even before venturing into getting that goal or whatever is that, which is to parang condition my mind na that there will be two consequences. It's either I'm gonna win or lose. So parang mina-mindset ko na din yung utak ko na no matter how hard I work or I pray, well, belief ko lang to parang you can't have anything that you want. Parang not everything is meant for you. So kahit gaano kakagaling, there can be that parang small probability na you're not gonna make it. Hindi dahil sa hindi ka magaling, pero may mga external factors talaga na di mo makokontrol. So ganon, parang more of also conditioning your mind, preparing your mind to fail din para magkaroon ka ng backup plans na if plan A didn't work well, then meron kang plan B to gusto mo gamitin pa lahat ng letters sa alphabet. Lahat yan may plans.
Yes, of course.
Meron kang backup plan tapos hindi siguro ganun kahirap to pick yourself up after.
Yes, that's true. And always, kapag kunyari may mga gusto ko in life, like I have a goal and stuff like that, I always make sure to give it my all and give it my best. Kasi pag kunyari naibigay mo lahat, tapos alam mo yung sa sarili mo na napiga mo lahat ng efforts, lahat ng, alam mo yun, lahat ng hard work mo, wala talagang regrets eh. Kasi parang you can tell yourself na I gave it all. And kapag wala pa rin, edi maybe it's not meant to be. Or maybe it's still meant to be, but then not right now. Maybe it's not the time, you know? Basta ako, always, siguro yung mapapayo ko, parang, just give it your all para wala kang what ifs, wala kang parang, what if mas binigay ko pa? Alam mo yun? Doon ko talaga na nalalaman na it's really not for me when I really gave it my all and I exhausted all of my resources and all of my strength and then wala pa rin. Hindi, wala talaga. Huwag mo na may pipilit. Ayoko na ipilit yung mga hindi para sa akin, hindi ba?
Super agree. Di ko na dadagdagan yun kasi nasabi mo na. Yun talaga. Parang yun na lang yung mantra. Give it your all. Give it your best. Para wala kang regrets. Tapos yun nga, kung hindi siya mag-materialize, then it's beyond your control na. Wala ka na magagawa. So move forward na lang. Find another goal or what. Yep. Now let's jump to another related, quote-unquote, controversial topic. And I'm saying it's controversial kasi there's a lot of opinion about it. And I'm talking about law of attraction. So siguro define muna natin yung law of attraction to our audience. So law of attraction basically tells na parang whatever you think of, whatever you feed your mind, that is what parang you're attracting that energy and that is what's gonna happen in your life. So parang to give a concrete example, let's say gusto mo ng kotse, ganyan. They say you have to be more specific na gusto ko Montero car and I want to have it by December 2021. Ganun ka specific. Tapos parang if you practice it, then what you can do, search ka na ng pictures, print mo yan, paste mo sa vision board mo, tapos claim mo na siya na magkakaroon ako nitong car na to by December 2021. Yan. So parang before we dig deeper into it, what's your take on law of attraction?
That's true. Kasi ako, parang if I really want something, I'd use that same thing, yung may vision board. Pero sa akin kasi it's a wallpaper. So yung law of attraction nga, parang it really does happen kasi alam mo yung sineset mo yung mind mo. Like say for example, I always use this metaphor, no? Imagine a tunnel. tapos yung light at the end of it, yun yung goal mo. Kailangan mo makapunta dun sa dulo. So, di ba, parang lahat ng anything that will come your way, wala, lahat ng distractions and anything like that, it's not gonna matter kasi all you think about is your end goal and whatever that goal may be, gagawin mo lahat para makuha yun. So, it goes with law of attraction, di ba? Parang it's not necessarily like the spiritual or like, alam mo yun, parang witchcraftery of like merong ano talaga mga aura ganyan, but it's just really a matter of placing whatever you have in your mind and then making that as your goal, and you're going to do almost everything possible para lang magawa yan. And alam mo, for me, magagawa mo naman talaga yan kapag gustong-gusto mo talaga hindi ba? Parang kunyari, ano ba, example, ako, sige, kasi before rin naman, I've always wanted to model before, as in back in 2016, 2015, I've been in commercials, ganyan. Pero wala pa talaga ako na big break commercial. Ang dami ko nung napuntahan na casting as in from Ateneo, and then I'd go to Makati, and then may work na ako, and then I'd go to Makati still para pumunta sa mga auditions. Pero wala talaga ako makuha mga commercials. Pero yung nangyari is I really want to become a model. Ano talaga ako, minessage ko lahat ng mga modeling agencies like Mercator, Prima Stella, A, lahat ng mga yan minessage ko. Until dito lang parang after PBB, like January or February, minessage ako ng manager ng Mercator. Tapos sinabi nila, hey, do you want to go for a model day? I was like, okay, sure, ganyan. Hanggang sa I went to that model day, nakilala ako ng manager. And then, ayun, nakuha ko for Mosimo, ganyan. Nakuha ko for mga ganitong mga ads. Because of that drive para makuha talaga kung anong gusto mo. Diba? Parang, I want to become a model, I'm going to message a lot of agencies. I'm going to put myself out there. Kasi parang nothing's gonna happen if you're just going to sit around and just wait, you know. Dito lalabas yung parang hard work na sinasabi nila kasi I really have to go for it. I mean, it's not going to, I mean, that's what I think. Being a person who really wants something and not getting it at the first try, parang really have to go for it to materialize. Yeah.
Agree ako doon sa part na para kasing pag pina-practice mo siya, condition ka na lang to work hard, tas hindi mo na nakikita yung ibang bagay sa paligid kasi nga kiniklaim mo na mapapasayo siya. And siguro yung I think yung missing piece sa iba is they take it too literally na more of just attracting pero not putting enough hard work. So, siguro, I think may mga ganun. Pero for me, yung law of attraction, it's not that I don't believe in it, but I just think siguro mayroong missing piece, and I'll explain why. And this goes back to the previous one, kanina yung idea that I mentioned. So, ayun. So, given na okay siya for me, there's no harm in doing it kasi nga parang pino-force ka niya na to pray hard, work hard, lahat ganyan, optimism, positivity, lahat na nandyan. Pero yun, siguro going back to what I've said na may mga bagay kasi talagang, naniniwala ko dun na not meant for you kahit gaano mo pa siya gustuhin. So yung law of attraction kasi, I think it's missing that part to acknowledge that slim chance na you might not make it. Parang it's not about being pessimistic, more of like being realistic or practical. Tapos, so kumaga kung law of attraction lang kasi yung ipapractice mo, then paano kung mangyari yung hindi natin gusto, which is yun nga, hindi mo siya nakuha. Then your mind was not conditioned to fail. So anong gagawin mo after? Hindi ka nag-prepare ng backup plans, hindi mo na-prepare yung emotions mo na, paano ko to i-handle kapag ka natalo ko or ganyan. So I think yun, more of practice mo siya pero lagyan mo ng another step, which is parang more of hope for the best and expect the worst, something like that.
Yeah. And parang as I've mentioned kanina yung sa tunnel, parang all tunnels don't have just one exit way and it doesn't have that one light. Baka kasi merong mga other light na hindi mo pala alam na meron pala. 'Di ba? Parang it's not a matter of going back to where you came from. It's just really adjusting. Kapag kunyari, if you're really flexible with whatever's happening and you're not going to be disappointed naman, di ba? It's just, yun nga, tama ka, na we just really have to be realistic. Kasi once we like close our minds na parang yun lang talaga, tapos biglang di mo makukuha, wala, you're still be disappointed, hindi ba? And like a lot of people, like if you ask like, I don't know, 10 people, parang most of them would be like, oh, I'm at a place where I didn't think I was going to be. Parang it's always like that, you know? Parang, well, at least for the people that I know, parang ito yung gusto nila before, it's biglang hindi na pala sila ngayon ganun. And they end up liking it also. So just a matter of accepting and being flexible and, you know, controlling what we can control.
Yes, yes. Minsan naman yung mga detours in life will just lead us towards parang what's really meant for us. Yun, and very much
like,
related to that. Sige, go ahead.
Yeah. And like sabi nga nila, if one door closes, it doesn't mean that there's no other door, di ba, na mag-open. And alam mo naman, yung bahay naman, marami namang pintuan.
Oo.
Yan ang inisip ko rin minsan. Yeah.
Ayan. So since na-mention natin yung mga what's meant for us, so jump tayo to another related topic, which is siguro not as controversial, pero controversial din. And I'm talking about destiny or fate. Kasi, di ba, may mga, well, I won't mention religions, pero siguro most of the spiritual people talaga naniniwala na mayroong destiny na parang before you're even born, your story is already written. So lahat ng mga success, failures, lahat yan parang nakaplano na ganon. Whereas, meron din namang parang the other side which believes na hindi, ikaw yung may full control of your life. Parang there's no such thing as destiny. Ikaw lahat yung gumagawa niyan. So, hindi, I won't ask parang where do you stand in between, pero parang how do you balance these two opposing mindsets na lang?
Actually, yeah, that it kind of alludes to whatever I was thinking about, like ever since like high school when pag you're forming what you really want in life. Because sabi ko, parang I can't find that line between giving up or just, you know, magpupursige pa ako lalo just to get that one. Because like, it's hard, you know, na parang if you really want to believe on something, you really want your dream to happen, like it's your destiny ka nga, and then a lot of factors happen na hindi na pupunta sa'yo or like may ibang nangyayari.
Yeah.
For me, parang it's just a matter of keeping whatever you still want, but then yun nga, parang adjusting a bit, para hindi, alam mo yun, kunyari, if someone wants to become famous, not necessarily on TV, but then maging famous on, I don't know, TikTok or maging famous on Instagram. There's some other ways pa rin, but then keeping in mind na parang it's just a matter of really being flexible on what you really want. And ako personally naniniwala ako sa destiny. Pero at the same time, naniniwala rin ako na I can't go there with just sitting around and lying around doing nothing. Hard work must really come into play. As in, ayoko talaga yung just even imagining na nakaupo lang ako and then someone's going to call me. Wala totoo nga na nasa tao ang gawa. Kasi you really won't reach that point if you're just, you know, a couch potato. Ayun. Yeah.
True. Hard work and prayers. Saka, I think, very much related din dun sa sinabi mo earlier na parang in whatever you do, you just have to give your 100%. So I think pag ganun kasing mantra mo, then it doesn't matter na whether it's destined or not. Basta in whatever you do na lang, give your 100%, diba? Hard work, pray hard for it. Ganyan. So it doesn't matter if yun ba'y nakatadhana para sa'yo or ikaw ba yung gumawa. Basta put in the effort.
And destiny is so overrated. Like a lot of people talaga, they're where they are right now. It's because of hard work. And I know a couple of people na reach whatever they wanted before and had to pay a lot of, you know, parang hard work and effort just to be where they're at. Parang it might seem na it was just given to them, pero yung hard work talaga na they gave just to reach that point is so it's so inspiring, honestly.
Yep. Now, siguro to wrap this up, so kasi when balik tayo sa main topic, what if things don't go as planned? So tendency kasi for people when this happens to them is, siguro two things. The first one is either to do self-pity, which is, syempre parang kawawa naman ako, feeling mo na demoralize ka or hindi ka ganun ka-valuable or hindi ka magaling. So yun nga, self-pity ka. Or the other one, pwede rin, you'll play the victim card, which is, kunyari, nag-apply ka sa isang trabaho and then you didn't get selected, sasabihin mo, kasi yung boss dyan, kilala yung kalaban ko, ganyan. So parang sisisi mo sa iba kung bakit di mo siya nagawa. So siguro, how do you kind of shift from this kind of mindset, especially yung self-pity, kasi mas common siya, into a more empowering one? Kasi mahirap yun yung parang you still feel empowered after failure.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, hindi natin maiiwasan yun na magkaroon tayo ng doubts, you know, when you always strive for something and you feel like you've given your all and you're so hardworking and stuff like that. But alam mo yun, hindi mo rin natin talaga maiiwasan na, hala, baka nangyayari sa akin to kasi I'm not really worth it or stuff like that. Pero I really beg to differ na really everything is really up to us. Like, I can write my own story. I know what's going to happen next kasi it really stems back to hard work eh. Parang I really don't, if you're like stuck in self-pity, I mean, di naman na talaga natin may iwasan yun, di ba? Kasi, I mean, who wants to feel bad, right? No one wants to feel bad. Parang if you're, ako na lang siguro is just when you're always in that point na you're down and like everything's like not going your way and all the odds are not in your favor and yun pa yung mga ganun. Parang I always think na now is not the time. Na there's always the time for whatever you want. And ako pa talaga kasi sometimes I get stuck in that area na parang I don't deserve this or like may mas magaling sa akin or like kunyari sa TikTok pag kunyari kasabayan ko tapos mas marami na followers sa akin. So inisip ko, ba't ganun? Parang binibigay ko naman lahat ng content ganyan pero mas nauuna pa siya. Sinasabi ko na lang para sa sarili ko na i-treasure mo na yan, enjoy mo na yung moment mo kasi wala pa yung moment ng isang Landamme Vivas. So, yun yung parati kong sinasabi sa sarili ko. I-enjoy nyo na yan kasi wala pa yung time ko. Hindi pa ito yung peak ko. Hindi pa ito yung climax ng life ko. It's just going to happen for me. And that's how I pick myself up kapag kunyari may mga defeats ako. And I always, sa parati ko sinasabi sa sarili ko na always be blessed with the little things, with the little wins. Kasi that helps me drive to wake up every day, di ba? Kasi when we're always succumb to like thinking of the high victories or the big wins, tas di natin nakukuha kasi it requires a lot of effort. Parang nawawala lahat yung mga kunyari, nakuha ko lang yung gusto kong part ng chicken. Or like nakapunta ako sa McDo, naka-order ako ng BTS meal na naging unavailable for a while. That's already a big win for you. Parang just celebrate those little victories para when you reach that final victory or like the biggest victory that you've been wanting all your life, then it's going to be much sweeter, you know? And it's something na nasabi mo na grabe ang tagal ko nang hinintay ito. Pero during that road, I was still thankful. Kasi during my waiting moments, I still got to win, but then not as huge, but then it's still a win on my books, right? And yeah, just keep on reaffirming yourself. I always do this every night. I just say what my goals were for today and what I, kunyari, ano yung na live out ko for today. Like for example, last night I said I'm capable. It really sounds so cliche, you know, but it's true. Like you'd say to yourself, "Nah, I'm capable. I'm strong, and I'm hardworking, and I'm worth it." Parati ko sinasabi sa sarili ko yun. Ayun. It's really just, and also just a matter of picking what works for you. Kasi what really works for me might not be applicable to anyone. So just finding what really works for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, kasi diba, if you don't believe in yourself, then who else is gonna believe in you? Ikaw dapat muna.
Exactly.
Kasi pag di mo naman, pag di mo na-feel na di mo siya, para, ay, nakaya mo siyang gawin, then di mo talaga siya magagawa. Kasi wala kang confidence.
Parati ko sinasabi sa YouTube before, even sa yung times na nagkikita pa tayo sa office and sa mga vacations natin na parati ako mahilig ako magbuhat ng sarili ko bangko. Dito nagagaling lahat ng confidence ko, to be honest. Kasi before ng high school, sobrang I was so insecure. Like I feel like I was the ugliest in school. I was the most loser of it all. Tapos, wala. Ito lang ako nakakuha ng confidence kasi yeah, I mean, those previous happenings that happened, parang it really showed how how little respect I gave myself. Tapos biglang na realize ko na I was really worth it, and I'm a catch.
Yeah.
I always tell you guys this kasi wala namang iba magkasabi sa iyo di ba? And you're the only person who can do that. Well, only person at first, di ba? Pero it's just really, buhatan talaga ng sariling bangko. Kasi, and taking that bangko wherever you want to go to. Ang konyo naman doon. But yeah.
Agree ko ako doon. It should start with yourself. Tapos the rest comes after. Ngayon, I have a pop-up question. Medyo na-touch din natin to earlier. So parang, how would you know naman if it's about time to call it quits? Or when would you know if it's time to stop?
Okay. So I also keep on telling myself that, drawing the fine line between giving up or even striving harder. Parang siguro ako, kung it's time to quit kapag kunyari, for yourself na na-exhaust mo lahat, tas wala pa rin. And then it's time to quit kapag kunyari, nagiging toxic na. Ibig sabihin, parang you're not cutting yourself some slack anymore na you always tell yourself na you're not worth it or like, wala ka talagang kwenta, ganyan. Parang pag umabot sa ganung point, tapos na-affect na rin yung other things like your family and your friends. Pag nakakalimutan mo na sila just because of that goal, parang maybe it's time to think about it more and parang rethink of what really works for everyone. Kasi at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what's gonna happen. Kasi a lot of things come into play, like your family and your work. Ganyan, kapag kunyari, all of it's going down just because of that one thing, maybe it's time to change plans.
Agree. Pag unhealthy na siya, right? Kunyari, kaka-audition mo, na-exhaust mo na lahat ng money mo, di ka na nakapagbayad ng bills.
Yeah.
Super worst case na yun. Pero something like that, diba? Something like that. And ako siguro to share a personal story na, true story. Kaya I think worth it i-share. So, kasi nung college, ang dream ko talaga to become a beauty queen. So, mahilig ako sumali sa mga school pageants, ganyan. Tapos, siguro there's this one competition nun na inter-university siya. Tapos, I practiced law of attraction talaga na I'm gonna get the crown. Ako yung mananalo, ganyan. Tapos, effort, sobrang prayers, hard work, ganyan. Tapos, during the competition itself, I was super confident, ganyan. Especially Q&A, kasi yun talaga yung favorite kong part. Hanggang sa nag-top 3 na, so nakasali ako. Tapos, last Q&A na, ako yung kasi narinig ko yung sagot ng mga nauna sa akin kasi ako yung huling nag-answer. So sabi ko, wala na, ako na yung panalo. Kasi hindi maganda yung sagot nila. So ganun. So parang nung nandun na sa backstage, parang sure ako na talaga. Hanggang sa'yo na, nung in-announce na yung winner, so nag-announce ng second runner-up, hindi ako. So okay, top 2 na lang kami. As in, holding hands, parang yung Miss Universe moment. Tapos sabi ko, parang sure na ako na to, gaya. Tapos biglang yung pangalan niya yung tinawag as the winner. Tapos parang ako nun, parang naghihintay ako ng Steve Harvey moment na magsabi siya na mali yung nasabi niya. Pero hindi, siya yung tinawag. So parang ako nun, hindi ko na-condition yung mind ko na what if I would fail? Kasi syempre, not all the time naman things would go your way. Tapos, so nag-isip ako nun ng parang reasons. Ba't hindi ako yung nanalo? If yung Q&A naman yung may bearing for the parang final criteria, ganyan. So, naghahanap pa ako nun ng sisisihin na mag-investigate pa ako na yung isang judge pala, model niya tong nanalo dati, so baka magkakilala sila, ganun. Mga something like that. So parang nagpe-play ako ng victim card. Tapos, yun, siguro hindi ko na-acknowledge na may mga bagay talagang hindi meant for you. Like, kunyari, siya yung matangkad Ako, anong gagawin ko? 5'4" lang ako. Hindi talaga for me yung beauty pageants. Like, kahit anong gawin ko, kahit tumamaling pa ako, hindi ako magiging 5'6" or 5'8". Parang, yun yung siguro mga sinasabi ko na, may mga things talagang not meant for you. Kahit pa i-work hard mo siya. Kasi yun nga, may mga factors like height na hindi mo naman makokontrol. So, anong gagawin mo? It doesn't mean na you just have to stop there. Pero yun nga, look for other things na that will work for you. So, siguro yung ginawa ko noon after grad. Since Q&A naman gusto ko public speaking, edi doon na lang ako nag-focus. Parang yan, mga public speaking contests, mga Toastmasters, lahat of presentation, hosting, ganyan. And then I eventually found my spot in the world na yun talaga yung parang yung, parang yung term dun sa movie na Soul, spark ba yung tawag nila dun? Yung parang something na you really want to do.
I think, that's spark nga.
Parang spark, no? Movie. Oo. So, yun.
Yeah, spark, yeah.
Parang something that that drives you to live, or parang natutulungan ka
Yeah.
niya to find your will to live. So yun lang, I mean yun lang, personal story na ganun. Hindi mo man nakuha, pero wala. Sometimes daters naman will help you find where you really belong. So yun.
Yes. And di ba sabi sa Miss Universe ganun, tinanggal na yung height requirement. So
Oo.
maybe before that's not the time, but then here we go again, di ba? Parang it's
Huwag
maybe
niyo
it's time
paasahan.
to it's time to rekindle that spark in you that you had before na yun nga, maybe it's just the right timing.
Yun din. Yeah, right timing. Diba? Parang story na lang ni Pia Words back. Tries din siya sumali. So, yun,
Yeah.
intense din. I mean, yung first two niya na tries, I think were like, dami siyang bashers, ganyan. Pero she didn't stop. So, yun. Anyway, depende din eh. Kasi yun nga, if it's going so unhealthy and toxic na for you, parang you're the only one then who can assess.
That's
Pero
true.
siguro to summarize na lang, when things don't go as planned, ano yung first thing na you always keep in your mind?
Okay, so for example, I have goal A, and then nasabi na sa akin na hindi mo siya nakuha or something like that. I always tell myself na bakit, ba't ko ba hindi siya nakuha? Ano ba yung mga nakulangan kong gawin? I'm going to assess na, but yeah, parang, then I'm going to tell myself, it's just really a matter of creating a story in your head na that would be really helpful for you, for your mental health. Na parang sabihin ko lang na, kasi ganito, so like, I'm just going to try harder, ganyan. Tapos, really, it's just a matter of being flexible and taking control on whatever it is that you can control.
Yes.
Kasi at the end of the day, I really don't want to get stuck in that rut, or like get stuck in that hole na parang I'm not worthy hole. Kasi parang every one of us is valid, and like, yeah, I mean, it's really easier said than done. Pero yun nga, parang if it's not meant for you right now, or let's take away the meant part. If it's not right now, then it may be in the future. Pero just be flexible na lang and adjust. Pero naman rin, pati naman sa volleyball, pag hindi maganda yung set sa'yo, you have to adjust. Doesn't mean
Yes.
doesn't mean kapag pangit yung set sa'yo, you can't get the point, right? And also, just what they call this, a saying also na I always tell myself this, na everyone is given a set of cards, like a deck of cards in life. Parang it's really, parang pag kunyari, pangit yung cards mo, like you got 3s or 4s, wala kang tao sa card mo, doesn't mean that you're gonna lose, right? It's just your control. Parang how are you going to use those cards to win? Kasi possible naman, hindi pa naman talo, di ba?
Yeah.
It's just really how you're going to deal your deck of cards and win. Yeah.
Agree on the parang quote-unquote retrospective part. Naisipin mo na lang, may nagkulang ka din ba, or what happened? List down mo din ano yung mga factors na siguro hindi mo control, para lang at least alam mo, tapos di mo na siya problemahin sa susunod. Kasi nga di mo siya control. Yeah. Tapos then assess, you can try again or try another goal, but the main idea is just don't stop. Parang just don't stop there.
Yeah.
You have to move forward.
Don't stop trying.
Yes. Execute mo ulit yung whether the same plan or plan B, plan C. Basta yun. Just don't stop.
And always keep in mind that the fact that you're still trying, that's already a win in itself. Kasi parang, alam mo yun, parang even after falling, you still had the power to stand up and still walk. That in itself is already a victory for me. Kasi, alam mo yun, the fact that you still tried amidst all your doubts, all of your parang fears, it already shows how strong your character is and how farther you can reach kapag kunyari mas marami ng mga failures and you still went back up and tried pa rin.
True.
Yeah.
True. Saka
so
diba,
just keep on trying.
Saka minsan kasi nakafocus ka lang doon sa goal, tapos di mo siya nakuha, feeling mo failure na, pero along the way, ang dami mo namang learnings na nakuha, network na na-build. Yeah. So ang dami mo ring na-gain. Pwede ngang even bigger pa dun sa goal itself. Tapos these things can lead you towards maybe a bigger goal that is quote-unquote meant for you or right for you. Yan.
Yeah. True. But yeah, that's basically it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Landamme.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great convo as always. And ayan, as promised, so lapag mo na mga social media account for
So yeah.
people.
So ayun guys, if you really want to subscribe to my life, and just watch on whatever I do on a daily basis, you can go to my TikTok at Landamme, and you really won't find any other Landams out there. So it's at LANDAMME. You can also find me on Instagram, and I'm currently building my Instagram even more. And yeah, just who knows? Maybe I'm going to be in a billboard soon. So just I'll
Yes,
update you
love the
guys.
confidence.
Yeah, ako pa ba? Sabi ko sa'yo kanina, sarili-sarili yung bangko lang talaga yan. So, yeah, maganda na lang kayo. So, hindi pa umaarangkada ang isang Landam. So,
Love it. Ganda-ganda ending
yeah.
pagpasabog. Okay, yun na. Thank you. Thank you for listening or watching
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.